Hi, it's Jim the IO Test Guy. Welcome back to the channel. Today's video we're going to be covering something that I haven't had to do yet in the 10 months and almost 15,000 miles of owning my Tesla. I am on my way to a service center to have my car serviced. Now, for those of you that follow my channel, you know that I live in Iowa, and in Iowa we don't have service centers. The closest service center to me is in Bloomington, Illinois, which is a good 4-hour drive, and it's a bit of a jaunt. It's not something that you want to do every day. So why am I making the journey? Well, about 3 weeks ago, I had a pop-up on my car that I'd never seen before that said, hey, we want to replace the AC compressor on your car because it may fail. It's working right now, but it could fail at any time, so we want to replace it. And first off, I have to give kudos to Tesla for that. I mean, great customer service in proactively telling me that I needed to do something with my car, even though it was still working fine. I have no idea if any other car manufacturer does anything proactive like that. I've certainly never had a car like that. But what it said was contact the service center, set it up, and we'll get it fixed. So that's what I did, and I asked them if I could get it done via mobile service, which I've done a couple of times now, and that's been fantastic. And they said, nope, I'm sorry, we can't do that. It's something that we have to do at the service center. And I said, okay. How long is the service gonna take? Well, they said it could take a couple of days. So they said they would give me a loaner Tesla, which means I'm gonna have to drive the loaner all the way back. I hope it's a Tesla. I don't know what model I'm gonna get. I guess I'll be happy with just about anything. And I'll have to wait until my car is done and then drive the 4 hours there to get my car and the 4 hours back. So it's a bit of an inconvenience, but I have to admit that, you know, it's something that I want to get done. And I figured that if Tesla said, hey, in the form of a pop-up on my screen, hey, you need to do this, then I probably need to do this. So this video, we are going to just document the journey. And one of the things that I wanted to figure out was, what do I need to prepare for? My last video, I said, Tesla people like to plan. Well, I'm one of those people, so I've got a myriad of products in my car to help me if things go sideways, like a tire repair kit, or a compressor, or jack pads, or a jack for the car. We have our mobile connector, and all of those things. So will the loaner car have those things? Somehow I doubt it. So I'm going to take all of those things out of my car, stick it in a big IKEA bag, and transfer it to the loaner car. So in case on the drive back something like that happens, then I'll have those tools available to use. So stick around for the ride. This will be interesting. I have no idea where this is going to go, but I'm going to document it as I go and hopefully find this interesting. So let's get started. All right, we made it to our first quick stop. For those of you that like following in the charge curve, we went 82.9 miles, consumed 24 kilowatt hours, and it was a rate of about 284 watt hours per mile, and in a Model Y on half highway, half interstate. That's actually a pretty good number this time of year. So we're gonna go ahead and get charged. It says we need to be here about 10-15 minutes. Good time to use a restroom break, and we will hit the road. And it is a bit of a longer leg on this next run to get down to Bloomington. So let's get plugged in. All right, the bathroom break and pit stop took longer than my car needed to charge, so I have overcharged more than I need, but I do want to get there with a safety net. I don't know how long they're going to let my car sit around, and I don't know how much my car battery is going to go down, and I really don't want the battery to go 15-20%. I don't know if they're going to charge it. It's the first time I've done this type of stuff. It says we're going to get there at 23%, which is more than enough, but for sitting around, I'll take the safety buffer. So I'm gonna get unplugged and we're gonna go and hit the road. Well, we made it to the service center. 145.8 miles, 291 watt hours per mile on this leg. So pretty much all interstate driving, and overall was perfectly smooth. Going to say goodbye until it gets all fixed up. Let's go in and see what we get for a loaner. All right, I made it to the service center. Went in. They said, good news, we don't have to replace as many things as we thought because we ran some diagnostics on your car over the last few nights and it passed a lot of tests. And so they said, it isn't going to be a couple of days, it's only going to be a couple of hours. And they said, do you want to wait? And I said, yeah, I'm going to wait. I'm not going to drive another 12 hours total to get back home and back and then back, just so 2 hours is not that big a wait. So they loaned me a Model X to go out and have a long lunch and tool around and come back in 2 hours, hopefully, and pick up my car and drive it home. So that is overall good news. Hopefully they'll pan out, and we'll see what happens next. All right, here's my ride. It is a 100D Model X loaner. First time ever being inside a Model X, and I have to admit that I really didn't know what I was doing. The instrument cluster and all the controls were very different than my Model Y, and it's even got a key fob, which also I'm not used to. So I'm gonna play around with this little car and see what I like and what I don't like about it. One thing I really wasn't paying attention to when I came to the service center in Bloomington, Illinois, is that the main Rivian pickup truck factory is right here in this town, and it was about 7 miles away. I have about time to kill while my car is being serviced, got some lunch and driving around, and thought, hey, why don't I come out to the Rivian plant and check it out and see if they have any trucks to see. So far I haven't seen any trucks, and I'm not real sure that I can see any trucks, but kind of neat to see the Rivian plant. All right, having gone to the Rivian plant, hoping to see a truck, unfortunately I didn't see any trucks around, and it didn't appear to have a visitor center of any kind. So it was actually just a plant. That place was huge, and I'm actually looking forward to what Rivian will do to the EV market. It looks like a really solid vehicle, and I'd like to see what happens with that. But as far as my service is concerned, my service journey, when I got there, they told me that it would take about 2 hours to get the job done. I rolled in, my service appointment was at 11:30. 2 hours would be 1:30. I pulled into the parking lot about 1:15, and I got a call and said, you're good to go. So I'm driving the Model X, and this is a 2018 100D Model X, and there are quite a few differences compared to the Model Y. First is the instrument cluster, which is a lot more regular car-like. There's a big vertical screen, there's a center console, there's a lot more switches, there's a lot more knobs. It is still, very foreign to me from the minimalist Model Y that I'm used to. Inside is a lot bigger. There's a lot more glass. The front windshield is enormous. In fact, you can kind of see it here above me. It actually goes beyond the top center of my head. And that is kind of a cool panoramic experience that you don't get with the Y, where there's a pillar right here in front of you. And ride quality is smooth. It feels like a minivan, actually. Don't know that I really like that. It feels like a bigger car. It feels the steering isn't quite as tight. Maybe it's because it's older, but maybe that's just how the Model X rides. It is a smooth ride, and I'll give it that. It does feel bigger than the Y, even though from the outside it really doesn't look that much bigger than a Y. So overall impressions of the X are interesting. Still glad I have my Y. Now at this particular service center, there are no superchargers like you find at a lot of other service centers. There's actually one across town in the Bloomington area, but unfortunately that entire supercharger is down, and I got to the service center without enough charge, about 23%, to get to the next supercharger, which is in Peoria, Illinois. And I asked them, what are we going to do about it? They said, well, we actually have a fast charger in the back, buried in the service center. We'll stick the car on there for about 15 minutes and then you'll be good to go. And that's exactly what happened. And actually, even with the charging, I was out the door in about 2 hours and 5 minutes from when I actually turned my car in. I was able to track the progress through the app. It was giving me estimates through the entire time, estimating that a 1:30 completion. Everything was perfect. They handed me back my key, pulled my car around, and said, "You are good to go." And as just a side note, they said that they found another alert with an issue with a grounding issue on my front sensor, that I might get intermittent warnings that the front was open, and I've actually seen that error from time to time. I really didn't think much about it, but they said, "I'm sorry, we don't have the parts for that, so we're going to hook you up and create a new service appointment and have that done via mobile." And they've done all of that too, so I didn't have to do any of that. So great job, Tesla, on service. Aside from me having to drive 4 hours in one direction and then 4 hours back, I have to admit that the service was perfect. I couldn't have thought of anything else that would have been better. The gal that was working there was super helpful, super energetic, very personable. Definitely was there to help me, and appreciated all their help from the Bloomington, Illinois Service Center. So I have no issues whatsoever recommending that service center to any Tesla owner. So actually at the beginning of this, I kind of expected this to be a longer video where I would have a review of the car that I got. I was actually hoping to get a Model 3. Spending many days with the car, taking it back, but we're able to get in and out in 2 hours, and I'm actually much happier for it. And as a result, you're probably happier that this is a shorter video. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, please hit that like button. Even better, hit that subscribe button. Believe it or not, 95% of my viewers are not subscribed to my channel, and subscriptions really help drive the channel. And subscribing is absolutely free. All you got to do is hit that red subscribe button below, and even better, click that little bell icon next to the subscribe button, and you will be notified when new videos come out, and we release new videos all the time. If you want to pick up a Tesla of your own, and I highly recommend that you do, make sure you use that referral code, and use any referral code, but if you want to use mine, that would be great. So until the next video, we'll catch you later.